Hi, this is Dr. Jaitly. Welcome to the sections of Basics and Fundamentals in Cardiology, the study of the heart. In this section, pertinently, I'll be talking about how much is the volume of blood or the amount of blood that's ejected out of this left ventricle, the booster chamber, every beat. We know the heart beats about 60 to 70 times a minute. That we know. But we also know that there is a certain amount of volume that the left ventricle contains at the onset of contraction or the squeeze, and then at the end of contraction, obviously the left ventricle looks smaller. It will have a different volume, that means a different capacity. So some blood would have escaped into the aorta to supply the bloodstream and the rest of the body. So let's say at the beginning of the contraction, where the left ventricle is fully filled and relaxed, the amount of blood contained is 150 cc's. Then at the end of the contraction, where the ventricle is smaller, not fully empty. Remember, none of these four chambers, they empty out fully. So left ventricle, when fully contracted, remember it's never empty, it'll still have about 80 cc's as the residual volume here. So what is the amount of blood that's now ejected through the aorta? What happened to the remaining volume? It went up into the aorta, into the bloodstream. So that's 150 minus 80, which is 70 cc's. And that is called the stroke volume, or the volume that per stroke, that the amount of blood that has been sent into the aorta. Now, if you multiply that by the number of beats per minute, we know the number of beats are about 70 a minute. So taking that as an example, 70, say for instance, 70 times the minute the heart contracts. So each contraction sends 70 cc's. So the total amount that the blood total amount of blood that's sent out per minute will be 70 times 70, that's 4,900 cc's per minute, which is roughly 5 liters per minute, and it's also called the cardiac output, or CO. So cardiac output is defined as the amount of blood that's pumped out from the left ventricle per minute. And stroke volume is the amount of blood that's pumped out per stroke or per beat. So you've learned stroke volume, you've learned cardiac output in this section. Thank you for the attention, and what a fascinating organ. It's pumping out 5 liters, more than a gallon of blood per minute, and pumping it into the miles and miles of arteries and veins across your body. I'm fascinated. I hope you are as fascinated as well. Thank you for your attention, and look forward to talking.